SpongeBob was never just a kid's show. Something about it always felt off. You'd laugh, but deep down there was this strange vibe you couldn't explain, like Bikini Bottom was hiding something. 8 mini theories that will flip your childhood upside down. Some of them are hiding right in plain sight, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. One of them might just explain why Bikini Bottom is so weird. Let's dive deep, but don't expect to come back the same, to the imagination theory. In the episode Idiot Box, SpongeBob and Patrick show the force of the imagination by having great adventures within a simple cardboard box. Their entire sensory activity, replete with sound effects and dramatic situations, take place without any props, and thus, their imaginative reach is placed underlines. This means that in Bikini Bottom, imagination is not only a silly pastime, but a power that can change reality. More proof is to be found in Frankendoodle, where SpongeBob's drawings become real. Such cases show that imagination in this universe derives actual power that shapes events and results in important ways. The skeleton theory. In many episodes, human skeletons and goods are dispersed around the ocean floor, leaving questions about the history of Bikini Bottom. In Rock Bottom, SpongeBob finds a bus full of human remains, while in One Krabs' visual trash, he sees an implausible hat, which Mr. Krabs wears while sipping on soda. These elements point to some former human presence, or some catastrophe that resulted in the present aquatic civilization. The presence of such remnants suggests that Bikini Bottom rests on the ruins of a sunken human city, resulting in its shadowy, complicated past lurking beneath its bright exterior. The Mrs. Puff theory. Mrs. Puff's past is shrouded in mystery, potentially involving criminal activities and identity changes. In No Free Rides, she exhibits extreme anxiety over SpongeBob obtaining a license, hinting at a concealed history. Additionally, in Doing Time, she is imprisoned due to SpongeBob's reckless driving, and a newspaper headline reads, "Deranged boat teacher makes getaway," suggesting a history of criminal behavior. These instances imply that Mrs. Puff is hiding a criminal past, possibly involving a new identity in Bikini Bottom. Her frequent incarceration and evasive behavior support the theory that she has a hidden, possibly nefarious history that she is desperate to keep concealed. Debunking the crab theory. It is intriguing to wonder what Mr. Krabs is really made of, as Bikini Bottom is devoid of crabs. Not many crabs are seen in the series, and no one even knows what makes up the secret formula. In the Midlife Crustacean episode, Mr. Krabs says, "So that's what I taste like," after which he samples a Krabby Patty. This has led to speculation that Krabby Patties might contain crab meat. This theory portrays Mr. Krabs as using his species in the Krabby Patty formula, hence the lack of other crabs. However, the series creator Steven Hillenburg stated that there are no animal products in the Krabby Patty, which had refuted this theory. Yet the secrets of the secret formula still puzzle fans, as mysterious ingredients remain a tightly held secret in the universe of the show. The human war theory. Bikini Bottom, the fantastical underwater developed city that is home to SpongeBob and his friends, might have a deeper source that is based on the true history of things. The name Bikini Bottom mirrors the name of Bikini Atoll in the Pacific Ocean, which United States used for 23 nuclear tests from 1946 until 1958. These tests resulted into high level of radiation contamination, which displaced local inhabitants, and it has had a long-term environmental impact. A mushroom cloud appears, for a few seconds at least, during the episode Dying for Pie, perhaps making reference to these nuclear events. This theory posits that the anthropomorphic sea creatures of Bikini Bottom are a manifestation from nuclear-induced mutations, providing a post-apocalyptic setting for this supposedly lighthearted show. The GrandPat theory. Through the introduction of Camp Corral begins one of the more offbeat and ambiguous characters, GrandPat, who is first. Presented as dull comic relief, an odd old man with overblown tails and tails spun tall, but drilling down closer into the details, some fans have started to theorize that GrandPat might not just be the oddball grandfather of Patrick Star, he might actually be mixed up with the royal blood of the sea, and perhaps masquerading as King Neptune or one of his bros. The theory wells from a number of telling features. When we see GrandPat, he usually appears with commanding presence, a relative abnormal amount of wisdom and knowledge about about the sea, which seems to outdo that of an ordinary Bikini Bottom inhabitant. In a number of episodes, he manifests mysterious strength, magic powers, or survival instincts, all of which point to some mysterious power. His flashbacks almost always refer to ancient mythological events with which he describes himself as familiar, camera, and all. These clues suggest he must be much older and more powerful than he looks. This notion that he may be King Neptune in disguise claims a mysterious flavor. In this theory, Neptune has retired from the throne to watch and advance the next generation, possibly reading up Patrick or SpongeBob to replace him in some way in oceanic destiny. In appearance a GrandPat, he could live quietly observing the major players and taking subtle measures when necessary. His eccentricity can be a mask which will cover his own identity. Even GrandPat's name favors the theory. Pat might allude to patrician, an old-fashioned word that seems to have referred to nobility. If GrandPat is indeed a royal in hiding, it would create a powerful link between Camp Corral and the mythos of the original SpongeBob series. Rather than being a spin-off with disconnected characters, Camp Corral might serve as a prequel filled with secret origins and hidden destinies, with GrandPat at the center of it all, watching, waiting, and perhaps guiding the future rulers of the sea. The Squidward director theory, Squidward Tentacles, is widely known as the frustrated, artistically eternally annoyed neighbor of SpongeBob SquarePants. But an increasing number of fans thinks that Squidward's role in the show's universe is much more significant, that of a close on the back of an unknown narrator, or perhaps even the director of the series. This theory implies that many episodes come to us from Squidward's perspective, and that the events progress, knowingly or not, through his artistic and emotional lens. Several clues support this interpretation. First, Squidward is one of the more unusual characters who do break the fourth wall once in a while, and probably say something directly to the audience or act with some self-awareness where the rest of the cast does not. Such episodes as Artist Unknown, Band Geeks, and Squidward and Clarinetland are highly stylized and emotionally heavy-handed, as if they're spoken through some artistic eyes, maybe Squidward's. These episodes tend to close in on drama, conflict, and aesthetic themes that speak to his ambitions as a misunderstood artist. Furthermore, not surprisingly, many episodes spend an inordinate amount of time describing how Squidward deals with the chaos occurring around him. Though SpongeBob is the main character, the story emphasizes how things affect Squidward on a personal level, and this isn't common phenomenon for a side character. The theory is that perhaps Squidward right now is creating his own version of the Bikini Bottom world. The common events transform to tragicomic spectacles of his frustrations and wishes. This theory explains the irregular changes in tone in the series. When Squidward takes part, the show often pokes fun at surrealism, or dramatic irony, or takes a drama approach. It's like viewers see life in the Bikini Bottom through his artistic lens, where beauty, suffering, and nonsense will coexist. Some fans even assume that the series is his long artistic program, a means to act out his internal conflict and disapproval by hyperbole storytelling. If this averment is true, the Squidward as director theory restructures the show. It makes him out of a comic secondary character into a behind-the-scenes orchestrator, someone who, whether consciously or not, is using art and narrative to cope with a world that rarely understands him. Squidward isn't just enduring the madness of Bikini Bottom, he may be directing it, framing his suffering as tragic art for an unseen audience. The alien jellyfish invasion theory. Jellyfish and Bikini Bottom are often portrayed as simple creatures, but certain episodes suggest they may possess higher intelligence and organization. In Planet of the Jellyfish, an alien jellyfish invades Bikini Bottom, capturing residents and replacing them with clones. This event raises questions about the true nature of jellyfish in the series. The theory posits that jellyfish are extraterrestrial beings with a hidden agenda, possibly preparing for a larger invasion. Their behavior, such as forming colonies and exhibiting advanced intelligence, deviates from typical jellyfish, supporting this intriguing possibility. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and comment.